I'm literally so emotional right now. It's so stupid. I'm on episode 3 of Shadow and Bone. It's called The Making at the Heart of the World. And spoilers, okay? Um, so the Darkling and Alina just showcased the sun summoning power. And after he says, "Welcome home, Miss Starkov," she turns and she hugs Leigh, who's in a purple kefta. The author's hugging her main character. And Leigh looks so good in the purple kefta. Y'all need to watch this show. Please watch it. And also, the cast for Six of Crows, for Kaz and Jesper and Inej, they are absolutely perfect. I have a severe, shameless crush on Jesper, and the guy that plays him, he's like officially my new book boyfriend, and that's okay. I think his name is Kit Young. I think that's his name. I hope I'm saying his name. I hope it's his right name. He's so good. He's so good. And Inej is stunning. She's talented. And the guy that plays Kaz, perfect for this role. And the cane looks amazing. I'm so happy for the whole cast and Leigh Bardugo. This is a great show. So, in conclusion, just in short, Shadow and Bone is worth watching. I'm only on episode 3, but it is so amazing. Congratulations to, I'm looking at the cast right now, Jesse, Ben, Freddie, Archie, Amita, Danielle, Kit, Daisy. Congratulations. It's an amazing show. Just finished the entire series, or I guess entire season, of Shadow and Bone. If this show does not get picked up for a second season, I'm probably going to have a breakdown, a mental breakdown. Because even though I know what happens in the trilogy, and I know what happens in Six of Crows, I still need to see my cast. I need to see... I'm talking about them like I'm like their friends or something. They don't know me. That's fine. But I just love the show. I love how it's written. I love the characters, the visuals, the action sequences. It was just so good. It's probably, I'm going to say this, the best young adult adaptation since The Hunger Games. Just putting that out there. It is so good, so worth watching. Please don't skip out on it. Greetings, salutations, Eddie here. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be presenting my review of the first season of Netflix's Shadow and Bone. So Shadow and Bone is a series that has been adapted from Leigh Bardugo's highly praised, highly loved world, the Grishaverse. Mainly Shadow and Bone, the Grisha trilogy, which is consisted of Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising, while also acting as a crossover series with the Six of Crows, which is Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, which is what I'm reading right now. The series has two main storylines going on. So we have one storyline, which is the Shadow and Bone storyline, which we follow our leading character, Alina Starkov. Her and her regime are trying to go through this thing called Shadowfold, which is this giant shadowy mass that has divided the country of Ravka into two, and it's full of monsters and darkness, and before they could cross it, their ship gets damaged and destroyed by these Volcra, these monsters, and there Alina discovers her sun summoning power. And then on the other side, we have the Six of Crows characters, in which we follow Kaz, Jesper, and Inej, and their story connects to the Shadow and Bone storyline. You can take off my glasses, you can see the ring light. So I was really excited for the series. I was not at all nervous because I had high hope. I watched several interviews with Leigh Bardugo and also the showrunner Eric Heisler, I think is his name. And Eric Heisler loves this world so much. He was really excited to adapt this book, or this world, this book series, into a television series. And I'm glad that they chose to do a television series, because if it was just a film, just centering around Shadow and Bone, it would not have been well received whatsoever. And had they not had the Six of Crows characters to balance it out, it would just be a cheesy, generic YA book to film, book to TV show, you know, adaptation, which I'm calling interpretation. A lot of these YA film adaptations don't capture the essence and the meat sometimes of these books. Like, I love The Hunger Games and Divergent, and I really like the City of Bones film, because to me those are my favorite worlds brought to life, and I loved it. Not all book to film adaptations are perfect. There are some little, you know, hiccups or flaws, but I genuinely enjoyed Hunger Games, and Divergent, and City of Bones. Also have like Gone Girl, which the script was written by the author of the book, which makes it 10 times better. You have Big Little Lies, Little Fires Everywhere, and The Undoing, which a lot of people are surprised that's based off a book called You Should Have Known or something like that. Now on the flip side, you have films like Percy Jackson, Vampire Academy, and also, sorry Divergent, Allegiant, which make them so cheesy. Like the Vampire Academy one, I'm sorry to bring it up again, it literally is the bane of my existence. And Shadowhunters. I hate Shadowhunters. But like a lot of those films based off these books don't capture what makes the series good. With this, it captured everything that's great about Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows. And the showrunner, Eric, was really excited. And I think Leigh had a hand in producing the show. I don't know if she wrote the script. I know she wrote the script for the pilot of Ninth House, which is another book of hers that's being turned to a TV series. I don't know if she wrote the script for I don't know if she wrote any scripts for Shadow and Bone, but I know she was an executive producer. And then I really loved who they cast for, like Alina and Mal, the Darkling, Kaz and Jesper. Inej is stunning. She's absolutely gorgeous. And then I saw the trailers. I loved the trailers. I loved all the promo pictures, all the posters. So my rating for the show is a definite 10 out of 10 stars. I loved this show. This show was so much fun to watch. So the thing about Shadow and Bone is that while it's based off of a young adult series, and okay, before I begin with my review, the stigma of, oh, the show is based off of a young adult book, there'll be like two types of reactions. There'll be one reaction that'll be like, oh, that sounds exciting, or two, oh, YA. That's literally the reaction that I see a lot of the times. And a lot of people will be like, well, this just looks like a generic YA adaptation, or, oh, this looks kind of cool. There's no gray area. Like, especially, my camera's not focusing. There we go. Especially when it's like a supernatural or dystopian. Like, I'm really nervous for the adaptation of Legend. I don't want to say generic. That's really insulting. It could be comparable to Divergent or Hunger Games. Or even the adaptation of Throne of Glass, The Raven Boys, even Cinder. I'm partly excited, but also nervous for Cinder. But anyways, but with Shadow and Bone, it covers everything. It covers action, drama, a little bit of comedy, romance, suspense. It is so good. It is amazing. It has a lot of depth to it, which I was not expecting. I mean, the Shadow and Bone is a really well written trilogy. And Six of Crows is amazing. I'm a little bit through Crooked Kingdom. It's really good. Expanded on the depth and the dark tones of Shadow and Bone, which I was really happy to see. Let me just say this. One of the strongest point of the show is the cast. The performances are amazing. Jessie, who plays Alina, did a fabulous job. I think she was a great choice for Alina, and I'm really glad they went with a diverse cast to play these characters, because it is kind of a white world. Archie, who plays Mal, I didn't really imagine Archie as Mal, but he did a really good job as Mal. His chemistry with Alina was awesome. Ben Barnes as a Darkling was such a great choice. I couldn't really pick anybody else to play the Darkling. I was actually imagining, you can judge me if you want, like a Tom Ellis looking kind of character or actor to be the Darkling. But he did really good. I'm really happy that they went with Ben Barnes. Freddie Carter, who plays Kaz. Now, Kaz is one of my favorite characters. Wouldn't say that he's like my ultimate favorite character. He's one of my favorites. But Freddie really captured the mysterious aspect of Kaz, and his chemistry with Kit Young, who plays Jesper, and Amita, who plays Inej. His chemistry with those two is like out of this world, and I'm really glad they actually kept his character true to the actual book. Then we have Kit Young, who, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, not only did he reply back to my Insta video or Insta story or whatever, he's literally my favorite member of this cast. He is so charming, so funny. chemistry with the goat was awesome. I'm sorry, I had to say it. His chemistry with the goat was awesome. The sharpshooting aspect was great. A little wink at the beginning of the show destroyed me. I really like that this cast read the books to see how the characters are, and they really cared for these characters. Just wanted to put that out there before I get to Amita. And Amita is, I really hope I'm saying her name right, is stunning as Inej. First of all, her acting is great. Her action sequences are awesome. She is gorgeous. She is stunning. Zoya, who is just as amazing. And I never really liked Zoya at the beginning, but I really liked her by the end of the trilogy. And I think she's in King of Scars. I know Nina is. I don't know if Zoya is in it. We have Nina, who... So Nina was a character... I'm talking about the show, not the book. Nina's storyline was introduced in episode 3 or 4. Because she is Grisha, and she's being hunted by the Triskeli. And there we meet Matthias, who is her love interest. The actors that have played Matthias and Nina, I'm sorry I'm blanking on their names, were great picks, and they had amazing chemistry. And Genya was awesome as well. I don't remember if I really actually liked Genya, but the actress that they picked for her looked exactly how I picked who I imagined for Genya. She was awesome. I think that the world building, I think that the creation... Oh my god, I can't even speak right now. Visuals of how Ravka looks and the visuals of the Grisha powers, is like perfect. It was really, really, really well done. I think the little palace kind of looked how I pictured in my head. And I love how the fold is created. I really liked watching it. Here's the thing, I was really nervous about how the Grisha power was going to look. That was my one little concern, is how the Grisha power was going to look. I didn't want it to look like there was going to be like a Scarlet Witch or Raven kind of thing, where they were going to have like this aura surrounding their hand and they were going to, you know, use their power. But it's not magic, it's like a small science. Especially with the heart renders or the squallers, but it actually looked really good. It looked almost like, I'm sorry, y'all know how much I hate comparing, but like the airbender, waterbender, firebender, earthbender in the Avatar show, it kind of looked like that to me. But I think that's pretty awesome. I think it was really cool to watch. Alina's sun summoning power actually looked really cool. Like the sun coming, or the light coming off her face and illuminating her whole body. Extraordinary to watch. And then the Darkling's, you know, shadow power is pretty cool, pretty awesome as well. One more thing about the Shadow and Bone story before I get to the Six of Crows story. I really loved, they didn't rely so much on the romance, which I was really happy about, because that's one thing about the YA adaptations that I really do not like. They focus so much on the romance. If that's the main storyline, that's different. But if it's not the main storyline, and they make it the main storyline, that's what made me mad. That's what makes me mad. Especially with films like, I think Divergent and Hunger Games, I think they did that pretty well. With City of Bones, they did that well. Shadowhunters love story, I can't stand that. Unless it was Alec and Magnus, that's one thing. Then you have the love story like in Vampire Academy. They made it such a big deal, and I did not like seeing that in the adaptation. But then also they didn't dumb down the audience. Just because it's a YA adaptation, they did not dumb down the audience, which I truly appreciated. I think with something like this, it is kind of a mature series. I'm really interested why they picked Netflix to go with this. I think it makes sense. I think it worked really well for Netflix. I think it would have worked well also on HBO or Starz. Had this show been on CW, I don't think I would have loved it as much. That's enough of the Shadow and Bone storyline. Let's go to the Six of Crows storyline. Or, okay, the Alina storyline. Let's go to the Six of Crows. This was really fun to watch. This one, had there not been the Shadow and Bone storyline, I think it would have been just as amazing. I think the look of the club was pretty much how I pictured it in my head. I think the look of Ketterdam was awesome. I think that Kaz's personality and Jesper's personality and Inej's personality really translated well from the book to the show. I said this before, they really cared about these characters, not just the cast, but like the producers, the writers. They really cared about how getting these characters right. I know a lot of people had the biggest crush on Kaz and Inej and Jesper, and if they messed up these characters, they would have been mad. But let me just tell you, as someone who's read the book, they have captured these characters perfectly. Boy Jesper, hot damn. There's nothing wrong with that boy. I'm sorry, I had a moment. I think if they pick up the show for a second season, let's hope they'll pick up for a second season, I think they'll dive more into Kaz's backstory with his brother and Jesper's storyline. I really want them to introduce Wylan, because I know the show, I believe, acted as a prequel to Six of Crows. I wonder if seasons 2 and maybe in the future seasons will introduce, maybe, what's the word? I don't want to say write off, but like fade out, like tastefully fade out the Shadow and Bone cast, and maybe bring in more of the Six of Crows cast. Like, we already have established Kaz, Jesper, Inej, Nina, and Matthias. We have Wylan to get to, and Wylan is kind of a big-ish character, so I wonder how they'll introduce him to the show. And you don't have to necessarily read the Six of Crows book before Shadow and Bone. Even if you haven't read the books, I think you will still enjoy the characters and the storyline. I'm really looking forward to what they're going to do for the rest of the series. The ending. I think the ending was such a cliffhanger, and I loved it. If they don't get picked up for a second season, I'm going to be pissed, because this is such a great show. Everybody that I've seen that talk about the show loved this show. Now I want to be a Grisha. I want to be a tide maker. I think that would be awesome. Also, I just want a Kefta. And my grandmother has watched the show as well. It is my grandmother loves the show. I'm really glad I watched this show. Had this show been turned into a film and only did Shadow and Bone, and the characters of Kaz, Inej, and Jesper were not in this film at all, it would not have worked. In my opinion, it would not have worked. And had this show been on CW, it may have worked, but it would have been cheesy to me. Okay, this may be a double standard. I'm sorry. I think had this show just been called The Six of Crows, and just followed the Six of Crows characters, I feel like it would have worked better if it was just Shadow and Bone. Because I'm gonna be honest, Shadow and Bone is kind of a generic-ish plot. It's a very chosen one plot. I still loved it for what it was, and I'm still in love with that trilogy. Whereas with Six of Crows, that's more what's the word? Shit. That's more mature than Shadow and Bone. Because, I'm sorry, Six of Crows can probably be a new adult. Shadow and Bone is very much a young adult series. But the combination of Shadow and Bone, Six of Crows, you get this amazingness. I'm really excited for season 2. Oh, Leigh Bardugo's cameo broke my heart. It was amazing. She hugged Alina in her purple kefta. Such a sweet moment. I would love to have a cameo in one of my books. If I publish one and it gets picked up for a show or film, I would love to make a cameo. Anyway, so that's going to be it for me from today. If you guys enjoyed this show or this video, let me know down below. And what was your favorite moment? Do you have a favorite episode? Do you have a favorite cast member? And just be honest. If you didn't like the show, just be honest. If you want more content, the subscribe button is right over there, and right next to it is the notification bell, so go ahead and click that. Whoa, I can't even go ahead and click that. And I'll see everyone soon in my next video. Deuces.